Om Gurur Brahma Gurur Vishnu Gurur Devo Maheshwara Guru Sakshat Param Brahma Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Om Sada Shiva Samarambham Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryandam Vande Guru Paramparam. As a part of Bhagavad Gita studies, now we are looking Gita Dhyana. There are 9 slokas in this Dhyanam. And we are going through the 3rd shloka. In the first shloka, we took an oath to follow Bhagavad Gita in our life. And in the second shloka, we saluted Vedavyasa. And now, in this 3rd shloka, we are saluting Bhagavan. Some may think, is this order correct? First shloka is all right, because it is a pledge to follow the teachings of Bhagavad Gita in our life. Then we did prostrations before Vedavyasa. And after that, we are prostrating Sri Krishna. Is it proper? Because some may think, first prostration must go to Sri Krishna even before Vedavyasa. The reply is, even though Sri Krishna gave this piece of teaching, and he is the Guru here, but Bhagavan Vedavyasa wrote this. Bhagavan Vedavyasa gave this to the whole world. So for us, Bhagavan Vedavyasa is the teacher. He is the teacher. And as per our tradition, before worshipping and prostrating Ishvara or any deity for the practical purpose, we will worship, we will prostrate before our Guru. Prostrating Ishvara comes only after prostrating Guru. That is the tradition. And that is the order. And therefore, this order of saluting Bhagavan Vedavyasa before saluting Sri Krishna is in proper order. There is nothing wrong in that. And here the third shloka, we have started discussing that. The shloka is Prapanna Parijataya Totra Vetraika Panaye Jnana Mudraya Krishnaya Gita Amrita Duhe Namaha. Prapanna Parijataya. Totra Vetraika Panaye Jnana Mudraya Gitamrita Duhe Krishnaya Namaha. Krishnaya Namaha. And to Krishna, my salutations. I am prostrating in front of Krishna. And here, Krishna is described as Prapanna Parijataha. We have seen that Parijata is a tree which is believed to be there in the world of Devatas. Celestial tree. And the speciality of that tree is whatever one think sitting under that tree, whatever prayer one is doing, that will be fulfilled. So it is a boon giving tree. We do not know whether such a tree is there. I do not know. But it is sure Bhagavan is Prapanna Parijata. He is like a Parijata for Prapannas. Prapanna is one who is fully surrendered. And because of that fullest surrender, there is no any prayer. There is no different or distinct entity or individuality away from Ishvara. Fully surrendered. It is very easy to speak that I am fully surrendered. Oh Lord, oh God, I am surrendering before you. In many kirtanas, hymns in praise of different deities, we will repeat, I am surrendering, I am surrendering. But we are chanting with this, with the bundle of ego we are having, and surrender, that doesn't happen. So Bhagavan will not be a Parijata for them. Bhagavan is a Parijata for those who are surrendering their ego. There is no distinct personality from Bhagavan. Our individuality is merged with that of Bhagavan. So there is no prayer. There is no wishes. Thy will be done. That is the mind structure. That is what is in the mind. What is your will, that will be done. For those who had this fullest surrender, for them Bhagavan is Parijata. He showers whatever they want. They will not pray for anything, but he knows what is required for. And therefore, in the 9th chapter of Srimad Bhagavad Gita, it is said, Tesham nityabhiyuktanam yogakshemam vaham. I will carry all the yogakshema for them. I will protect them. I'll give them whatever they want, and I will protect what they have. That is the guarantee card we are getting in the Bhagavad Gita. So Sri Krishna Bhagavan is the Prapanna Parija. Unto him goes my prostrations. Prapanna Parijataya. Then it is said Totra Vetraika Panayena. Totra Vetraika Pani is one who is carrying a whip in one hand. Ekapani. Some acharyas translate Totra Vetrum as to mean rain, which will be in the hand of the charioteer. It can be whip also, because to control the horses, Bhagavan must carry whip. So one who is holding a whip in his hand, in one hand, Ekapani. Pani is hand, Ekapani one hand. In one hand there is whip, Totra Vetram. And simply Vetram means whip. Vetram, whip. And Totram may mean rain. So in one hand, Bhagavan is holding both this, the end of the rain and the handle of the whip. That is how Bhagavan is sitting. Unto him, that is one who is carrying whip in his hand, unto him I am prostrated. Totra Vetraika Panayena. There are some inner meanings in all these names that we will discuss later. Now let us go through the verbal. And also remember, there is whip in the hands of Bhagavan. In one hand, Bhagavan is carrying a whip. Remember that, because we are sitting here to study Bhagavad Gita. And we are sitting in this chariot. Horses are carrying this chariot. They are pulling. And these horses must be focused in this Gita study. They must not be allowed to wander here and there. Eyes going there and here, ears going here and there, and our nostrils, and our skin, and our tongue. No. These forces, if they are wandering, then remember there is a strong whip in Bhagavan's hand. Remember that. We will get a whip. So it will help us to concentrate, to focus our attention in this study. This is not inner meaning that we will discuss later. So Totra Vetraika Pani. Then Bhagavan is described as Jnana Mudraha. Jnana Mudraha. Unto him, Jnana Mudraya. Who is Jnana Mudraha? One who is holding Jnana Mudra. He is Jnana. One who is holding Jnana Mudra. So in one hand, there is the whip, and the other hand, Bhagavan is holding Jnana Mudra. Jnana Mudra is also called Chin Mudra. See, if somebody come and ask, can you explain Vedanta? And complete that explanation. The reply is we can explain Vedanta. We can go on explaining for days and months and years. But nobody can say this much is that. Finished. No. Because there is no limit for Veda. Ananta vai Vedaha. So there is no limit. So we cannot say this much is Veda. Now, another question comes. Can you tell us the gist, the summary? The crux of Veda? The reply is yes. In one word or in one sentence, I can say. And these are the Mahavakyas of Vedanta. Mahavakyas are those sentences or single sentences coming in the Upanishads, proclaiming the unity of Ishvara and Jiva. Truth is one. The absolute reality is one without a second. And therefore, there is no any difference between Ishvara and Jiva. That central teaching of Vedanta, proclaimed in one single sentence, is called a Mahavakya. So, by using 1 or 2, 3 seconds, we can utter a Mahavakya. That will be the summary of Vedanta. And then comes another question. Can you show a symbol? Yes. And that is this mudra. Chinmudra or Jnana. In Sanskrita, this finger is called Angushta, and this is Tarjani. And this one is Madhyama, this is Anamika, and this is Kanishtika. As the very name indicates, Tarjani represents the jiva with its ego, because we are using this to do tarjana, shouting, criticizing somebody else, showing others' fault. But when we are showing this, three fingers are pointing me, that we are not thinking, that we are not remembering. When we are showing this towards somebody else, three fingers are pointing me, my heart. So this is Tarjana, and it represents Jiva. And this Angushta represents Ishvara or Paramatma. Normally, this Tarjani will be staying with these three fingers. And this Angushta is away. Directions are different. Different directions. And they are staying together. These three represents Prakriti or Maya. There are three qualities, Sattva, Rajas, and Tamas. So if somebody asks, which is Sattva, Swami? My reply is, I don't know. I cannot say. Because in one person in whom Sattva is the most prominent, then this will be Sattva. But in one in whom Rajas is most prominent, this will be Rajas. In a person with the dominance of Tamas, this will be Tamas. So with the Triguna, Jiva is staying. And he is acting in this world as propelled by these Trigunas. As long as he is leading such a life, Ishvara is away from, different. He is going in a direction which is not the direction of Ishvara. Now, analyzing one's own experiences and taking lessons from our own life, observing the world around, and as an effect of doing virtuous deeds in our life, slowly and slowly, that quest for Ishvara, that quest for the absolute truth, or the thirst for God realization, that comes. And when it is there within, we will work for that. We'll be doing Karma Yoga, or we'll be practicing Bhakti Yoga, or we'll be doing Shravana, hearing Shastras, and can be many other yogas. So we'll be in the sadhana path. And it will teach us how to bend. That ego which prevents us from bending, that goes. And this will come like this. Otherwise, it won't come. It won't bend before anybody. Because the eye, you cannot curve that eye. It is straight. Now, it is coming down and it is becoming one with Ishvara when that knowledge dawns. Tattvamasi, you are that. Aham Brahmasmi, I am that. When that knowledge dawns, there is no any difference. That is the real yoga, communion, becoming one. Now all the differences between Ishvara and Jiva has gone. Now there is no sadhaka and sadhyam. That is the practitioner and the practice and the goal to be reached, nothing. Is full within and full without. That becoming one, it has happened. There is no beginning, there is no end. Both has united together, and like a ring, it has become one. Now these are not two fingers. It is one. And now Jiva is away from the clutches of Prakriti or Maya. Is one with Ishvara. So this is the meaning of Jnana. While teaching Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavan was holding this mudra, Chin mudra. And in our tradition, we are considering Dakshinamurti as the first Guru. Teacher of all teachers. Dakshinamurti, while teaching Devatas and Rishis, he was holding the same jnana. So Bhagavan here is holding this jnana. He is showing this jnana mudraha. Unto him, jnana mudraya, namaha, prostrations. So, prapanna parijataya namaha, totra vetraiga panaye namaha, jnana mudraya namaha. Krishnaya Namaha. So I am prostrating Sri Krishna. Not Sri Krishna, Krishna. Who is Krishna? Krishna is Paramatma himself. As per the Puranas, like Srimad Bhagavata, Garga Maharshi named Krishna. Garga Maharshi gave the name Krishna. It was not Sri Krishna, it was Krishna. And we are adding Sri. What is the meaning of Krishna? There are many, many meanings. The first and the very basic meaning is one whose color is dark, dark skinned one. That is the meaning of Krishna. Dark skinned one. That is the color of dark cloud. That is the color of Sri Krishna. Krishno varnascha yasmatme tasmat Krishnoham. So says Bhagavan himself in the Mahabharata. As my color is black or dark, my name is Krishna. That is the first meaning. Then the meaning of the root Krish is Bhuvilekhane. Krish Bhuvilekhane. That is with the help of plow, we will make the ground for agricultural purposes, for farming. So plowing the ground, that is the meaning of Krishna. So one who is doing that is Krishna. That means a farmer. The meaning of Krishna is a farmer. How he is a farmer? See, just like a farmer doing his own farming, all the jivas are doing different karmas. And accordingly, they are reaping their fruits. What we are sowing, that we will reap. There is no doubt in it. We are getting what we are giving. So that principle, Bhagavan is giving all the fruits of karmas, and therefore he is called the biggest farmer, Krishna. The another meaning is Karshati the Krishna, one who is attracting everybody towards him. There are two meanings. One, because of his personal magnetism, he is attracting everybody towards him. Nobody can resist that attraction. So people will naturally be attracted towards Krishna. So one who is attracting everybody. That is the meaning of Krishna. Another meaning is at the time of dissolution, that is Kalpanta. All these creations, all these manifestations will attracted back. So one who is attracting back everything unto himself, he is Krishna. Then there is another meaning. Krish bhuvachakaha nascha nirvriti vachakaha. The meaning of Krish is bhu, that is existence. Existence absolute. We can call Sat. And Na is bliss, bliss absolute. So both the Sat and Ananda, existence and bliss, that is Krishna. Existence absolute and bliss absolute. That is the meaning of Krishna. So Krishnaya Namaha. Unto Krishna, my prostrations. So Prapanna Parijataya Namaha. Totra Vetraikapanaye Namaha. Jnana Mudraya Namaha. Krishnaya Namaha. Then one more name is there. Gitamrita Duhe Namaha. Gitamrita Duhe Namaha. Gitamrita Dhuk. Dhuk means one who is milking a cow. So milking cow is Dhuk. Unto him, Duhe. Duhe, unto him. Here what Krishna is doing? He is yielding the milk. Which is that milk? The nectar of the Amrita of Bhagavad Gita. So Gita, Bhagavad Gita is Amrita, which gives immortality. That is Amrita. This is the nectar. And Bhagavan is drawing that. So unto him I am prostrate. Here comes a doubt. I have heard Sri Krishna taught Arjuna. And in the first shloka, it was said, Narayanena Swayam. He himself taught this. Without any intermediary, Bhagavan Sri Krishna, he himself taught this Bhagavad Gita to Arjuna. And here it is said, Bhagavan is drawing that milk from somewhere else. Because a cowman, one who is milking cow, he is getting milk from the cow. If he is giving that milk to somebody else, that milk is the milk of that cow. So in the same way, Bhagavan, if he is milking, he is getting this milk, which is called Bhagavad Gita, from somewhere else. From where it is? That is the doubt. From where Bhagavan is collecting this milk? Drawing this milk. Because he is doing that milking. From where? So Bhagavan is not teaching this Bhagavad Gita as his own. He is drawing this from somewhere else. That is why Bhagavan is called Veedamrita Duk. The answer to this question we will see in the next shloka. And before entering to the next shloka, we have to see some inner meanings conveyed through this shloka. See, Arjuna sat in the midst of both the armies, that is two sides, fully perplexed. He was utterly confused. And he put his arrows, his bow, his sword, everything on the floor of the chariot. Without any weapon, any arm, Arjuna was sitting. He was crying. Fully under the grip of despondency he was. And this is the picture of the student. And what is the picture of the guru? He was sitting, showing Jnana Mudra in one hand and holding whip in the other hand. And he was Prapanna Parija. So these three words, Prapanna Parijata, Totra Vetraika Pani, and Jnana Mudra. This conveys the very message of Bhagavad Gita, especially as far as Arjuna is concerned. How? See, Arjuna has renounced these tools of action. He was thinking, better than this fight, I can renounce all my karmas and I can be a sannyasi without doing any work. Kurona hatva hi mahanubhavan shreyo bhoktum bhaikshyamapi haloke. That was his thought. Better to accept sannyasa. He was not fit to accept. And sannyasastu mahabaho dukkham aptumayogataha. What one will get from sannyasa if he is not fit to accept that? Only miseries, always miseries. He will be burning within and without because he is not fit to accept. So that was the condition of Arjuna. But because of his ignorance, he thought he is fit to accept sannyasa. And he renounced his tools. There was no sword, there was no bow, there was no arrow, nothing. Whereas the very personification of wisdom, Bhagavad, he was sitting with a whip in his hand to control the horses, to ride the chariot. He didn't renounce it. He was ready to work. The work he has accepted. That represents karma yoga. Because by doing that work, there was nothing to be gained. So it was not normal karma for Bhagavan. But still he performed. And he was prapanna parijata. That very name shows he was the very personification of bhakti, bhakti yoga. And he was holding jnana mudra. That shows he is wisdom personified. These are the three yogas explained in detail. Bhakti yoga, karma yoga, and jnana. So Bhagavan was sitting as if he is representing all this. So that is the picture of the Guru. The picture of Shishya, disciple, we have seen earlier. So this contrast we have to keep in mind while studying. This shloka clearly shows us this contrast. Prapanna parijataha, totra vetrai kapanihi, jnana mudraha. And this Krishna, he collected that nectar which is called Gita. Question is, from where? Answer to that question we will get in the next, that is the fourth shloka. We can take that shloka in our next session. So here, Krishna is worshipped. We are prostrating in front of Krishna. And Krishna is Paramatma himself, from whom all the Vedas manifested. That is Krishna. Because Krishna is existence absolute and Na is bliss absolute. So from Ishvara, from Paramatma, emanated all the Vedas, the source of Veda. So he is giving this teaching. So we are saluting. Next shloka we can take in our next session. So if you want to ask any questions or have any doubts, you can ask. If I know the reply,
Namaste, Swamiji. The question is from Sumanaji. Sumanaji, you can unmute yourself and ask that question.
Namaste, Swamiji.
Namaste.
Can you please explain Sadhya Moksha and Siddha Moksha?
Moksha is only one. There is no sadhya and siddha. But see, I am sitting here at Advaita Ashrama in Kolatur village. If I want to reach a particular place, I'm not sitting there. I'm not sitting there. I'm sitting here. To reach there, I have to travel. So reaching there is sadhya for me. And when I goes, I am starting from here. And through the right path, I am moving. And I'm reaching there. So when I have reached, now I am there. Now it is no more sadhya. It is siddha. It is siddha. In the same way, for a seeker who is in quest of the absolute freedom, the ultimate freedom, freedom from all miseries, freedom from all delusions, freedom from ignorance, freedom from bondages. For that seeker, that state of freedom is something to be attained. So he has to work for that. Now for him it is sadhyam, to be attained. Sadhya means to be attained. And through Shravana, Manana, and Nididhyasa, that is hearing, and imbibing the inner meanings and reaching at proper understanding. When he realizes, when that realization comes, then he knows moksha is not something to be attained. It is my essential nature. It is not something to be attained. It is siddha. So one who is established in that knowledge, he is free. That is siddha. So for him, moksha is siddha. That realization is there within. It is not something to be attained. It is not satya. So sadhya and siddha, these are two terms from different standpoints. From the standpoint of a seeker, that is Adhya. And from the standpoint of one who is established in that, it is Siddha. I think this is clear.
Yes, Swamiji. Thank you.
Namaste, Swamiji. Our next question is from Rameshji. Rameshji, please.
Pranam, Swamiji. Pranam.
Namaste, namaste.
Swamiji, a question on the tradition, the worship tradition of Vaishnavites and Shaivites. We know that the Paramatma's, in the Trimurti concept, the Paramatma's gunas, according to the guna structure, is divided into three: Brahma, Vishnu, Maheshwara. And this Vaishnavites only worship one Vishnu, and then Shaivites Shaiva. So how there's an inherent conflict there? Are they only worshipping one part of it, or are they doing the whole thing? That's not clear to me.
Yeah. If they are worshipping parts, it will make conflict. It will make strife, and it will produce miseries in the world. But for a Vaishnava, Vishnu is Paramatma himself. For a Shaiva, Shiva is the Paramatma. So Vishnu of Vaishnavas is the same as the Shiva of the Shaivas. So there is no conflict, there is no strife. But if they are not understanding this, and considering their own Ishvara as the highest, then there will be confusion and strife. That is there in the world. It was there. Still, it is there in this world. So the understanding we must have within is, when we consider the guna structure, then Vishnu is the Sattvic, and according to guna structure, Brahma, Vishnu, Rudra are different. But the Shiva of Shaiva is not a tamasic devata. He's all in one. Vishnu of the Vaishnavites is not a Sattvic devata. He's all in one. So Vaishnavas are considering Vishnu as Paramatma or Parameshwara or Narayana. In the same way, Shaivas are considering Shiva as Parameshwara. So there is no problem. But the problem comes when they think out of ignorance, these are different devatas. Then conflict comes, strife comes, even battles come. This is a fact. It happened. How many times we cannot say, but even now, there are such conflicts within the ignorant followers of Vishnu and Shiva. Even now. The reason is only one, that is ignorance. Bhagavan Bhashyakara reiterated through Bhashyas that Ishvara is one. There are no two Ishvaras. And all the devatas are nothing but different manifestations of the same Ishvara. And this is not a theory developed by Bhagavan Bhashyakara. No. In the Samhita itself, in the Veda Samhita itself, it is said, Ekam Sad Vipraha Bahudha Vadanti. The reality is one, without a second. But scholars are explaining in different terms and they are calling different names. So this must be the knowledge we must have with it. Then there is no problem. Otherwise, there are conflicts. There are. See, even now, when we go to Kanchi, with this Vibhuti, you go to Vishnu Kanchi, the temple of Varadaraja Perumal. Then they will look as if it is not proper for you to go there with this Vibhuti. And you put some sandal, chandana, and go to Ekamranath, Shiva Kanchi. The same will be the treatment you will get from there. So when we go to Kanchi, we will put this Vibhuti and over that sandal, and in the middle, a Kunkuma also. See? But even today, but it is coming down. The differentiation is coming down. But still there are. The cause is bare ignorance. And this ignorance is not the ignorance in Shastras, but it is embedded in the individuality. Because I am remembering one instance. There is one professor. She is a professor of Sanskrit. She is much connected with Advaita Ashram. So when she was studying, after completing her post graduation, she did her doctorate and postdoctoral. And when she was doing her PhD, her guide was a very great scholar in Samskrita, in Nyaya, in Sahitya. Was a great scholar. And he was an expert in the computer language and how to make use of Devanagari script in that particular branch. He was doing many research works. So he was a great scholar. And once in one discussion with his within his own office, there were some other professors also sitting, and he was discussing about this student. And this professor said, she is a very good student. In my career, I am seeing such a good student for the first time. That much punctual, doing all her works promptly and very obedience. All good qualities are there. There is no fault with her. You cannot find a fault. But of what use? Because She is chanting Ishvara. She is anointing this vibhuti. How she can do that? How she is chanting Ishvara instead of Narayana? How she is anointing this vibhuti instead of Chandana? It's a sin. But there is no use in advising her. So I stopped. So such a comment from such a scholar in this age, so that is the ignorance. So for a Vaishnava, Vishnu is Parameshwar. For a Shaiva, Shiva is Parameshwar. Then there is no problem. You can worship. Shivasya Hridayam Vishnu, Vishnustu Hridayam Shiva. There is no difference at all. Namaste. Now we can conclude. Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah Sarve Santu Niramayah Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu Ma Kaschid Dukkha Bhag Bhaved. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.